Hi everybody, it's Andy with Century 21 Everest Realty Group and Team of the Century. Hey, I'm coming to you today to talk about the buyer-broker agreement. We've been actually out with quite a few clients lately that don't know that they've signed this already with another agent and what that means, and it wasn't explained to them when they were signing all the paperwork originally. So I wanted to go over it today so that you know what it is. And so when you do get around to signing it, that you're well informed. Our goal here with Team of the Century is to make our clients be the best informed people out there when they're buying a home. So this is the buyer-broker agreement. I've highlighted a few of the main things here. One thing I would like to say is you should always read everything before you sign anything, especially this agreement. Now I'm going to highlight just the major things that are in it, and from there, if you want a copy of it, reach out to me. Just send me a message, and I'll send you a copy of it so you know what's in there. It's not the most exciting read. If you can't sleep at night, it's something you could go over. It'll help you fall asleep pretty quick. All right. So first is the term of the agreement. This is typically a 6-month agreement. Not always, it's always negotiable. From there, the next thing is the brokerage fee. Now this is where everybody obviously wants to know, what is it going to cost to sell the home? Now, thankfully for the buyers, typically the seller is actually paying the buyer's agent, so there's no out-of-pocket cost for you in order to purchase a home. Now, there is a transaction fee that Century 21 that we have. It's $295. And then it's typically a 3% buyer-broker agreement. All the fees and everything are negotiable. So they could be more, they could be less. It depends on who you're working with and what kind of service that they're providing for you. If they're a full service agent like ourselves, or if they're just part-time, or if they're going to do the minimal amount of service for you. The next thing is the protection period. Now the protection period, really what it is there to keep honest people honest. What it is that if we were to show you a home and you decided that in 6 months you wanted to go back and look at that home and buy it because the seller said, hey, when you don't have an agent, I'll give you a discount. That means that there's still going to be a commission owed at that point, and unfortunately, that would mean it would probably come out of your own pocket as opposed from the seller. So the next thing is the buyer representation and disclosures. Now, I'm going to read this because this is one of the more important ones that a lot of people don't know that they signed. It says, the buyer warrants that the buyer has not entered into any other exclusive buyer-broker agreement with any other brokerage that is still in force and effect. That means that you shouldn't be signing this multiple times, because now you're putting yourself in a legal situation where you could owe more than one commission to people. So that one, very, very important. The next one is agency relationships. Now these are the duties of a buyer's agent, and representing you, we become your fiduciary and trying to get you the best deal possible and get you into the home that you want to buy, not the home that we think you should get, but the home that's right for you. Now, some of the things that we're required to do include loyalty, obedience, full disclosure, confidentiality, and reasonable care. Those are things that every agent should be doing for you. You're their client. They should be loyal to you and what your needs are, not trying to just get you into any old home. Obedience, meaning that we're going to follow your directions. We're here to guide you and assist you, to help you be informed and then help you make the right decision. But we're here for you. You're the boss. We are here to serve you. Full disclosure, if we know something about the property that might induce you to not want to buy it, we still need to tell you that. You know, if I was walking through a home and I saw a crack in the foundation, full disclosure, I should come to you and let you know, hey, this could be an issue. Confidentiality, we can't share your information with anybody out there of what's going to affect you on purchasing the home. So we couldn't tell the seller, hey, they could pay a little bit more for this home and that might get the deal done. Those are things that we can't just disclose without your permission. From there, the next thing is the limited agency. What that is that if we were selling a home and you were looking and we brought you to the home and you wanted to buy the home and we're the agent on both sides, there's some things that you're going to give up in order for us to represent both sides. With confidentiality, we're not going to give up, but full disclosure, I can't tell you what the sellers are going to be willing to take for their home. That wouldn't be fair to them. And I can't tell the seller what you're able to buy for the home. That wouldn't be fair to you. By signing these agreements doesn't mean that it's okay. It just means that you're aware that it's a possibility. If you did decide to do that, both you and the seller have to agree that that's okay, and you would sign additional paperwork that would be very specific about what you're giving up in order to do that. Okay, Next thing, professional advice. As real estate agents, we're not general contractors, we're not electricians, we are not plumbers, we're not all that stuff. We can give you general advice based on our experience in the real estate industry. However, if there's an electrical issue, if we see some double tapping in the fuse box, or we see that maybe one of the drains isn't working right and we need to get it looked at, we need to hire a professional in that specific field in order to take a look at that. Next thing is my favorite. They're not my favorite. I hate these two, but they are required. Dispute resolution and an attorney fees. So dispute resolution, in the event that the buyer would ever have an argument against or between the buyer and the brokerage, what we're going to do first is go to mediation. And we're going to try to do that, settle anything out of court if it ever got to that point. And then from there, if it does have to go to court, the prevailing party actually has all of their legal fees paid by the party that doesn't win. So basically, loser pays for all of the fees. That's the easiest way to describe it. Not very many things ever go to court, but you do need to be aware that that possibility is there, that something happens that you don't agree with. This just kind of gives us a step-by-step on what would have to happen in which order. From there, buyer authorizations. This specifically is allowing us to release your information to the MLS of what the home sold for, all that kind of stuff, so that it becomes public information, or not public information, but information for clients or real estate agents, so that we can better price homes. Without that information, it would be really, really hard for us to get the right price on homes. The next one's attachments. Typically, there's no addendums to a buyer-broker agreement. Sometimes it happens, but it's very, very rare. Equal housing opportunity. We don't discriminate. We follow all equal housing laws. Electronic transmission and counterparts. So what this is actually in Utah, it's legally binding if you sign something electronically. And we typically do that because it keeps everything really organized. We can share it with the people that need to have it. And so you will get an email and be able to go online and sign it. It's really, really easy. But in Utah, that still counts the same as if you signed it with a pen. Due on sell clause. So certain types of transactions could trigger a due on sell. Typically what that means is that you have a homeowner who's going to sell you a home, but they're going to hold the mortgage with the bank, and you're going to pay them and they're going to pay the bank. If the bank finds out about that, they could trigger what's called a due on sell clause and call the whole note due, and that can really jeopardize who owns the home, who owes on the home, who's getting sued, liens on the home, all that stuff. We don't like to get into those transactions if we can help it. Number 14 is the authorization to furnish the Tila RESPA. It's an interesting thing. Tila RESPA is the Truth in Lending Act, and what it does is it shows exactly the breakdown of your information for what the fees are going to be, what you're bringing to the table, what the loan's for, all of that stuff. State and federal government don't agree on this one. One says that we can see it and we're required to look at it. The other government says, nah, you guys aren't allowed to see that unless you get permission, so we just get permission to cover both sides. And then number 15 is the entire agreement. What this means is that if it's not in here, it doesn't exist. No matter what someone has said to you, this is what's legally binding. So I know that's a lot of stuff. There's a whole bunch more in here that we could go over. If you want to read it, like I said, just send me a message. We'll get it out to you. And then if you have any questions, let us know. We really appreciate your guys' time. Have a great day. Thanks so much.